Hey everyone, Donna Nelson. Welcome to episode 36 of Rooted in Wisdom, a daily dose of Donna. Today, I want to talk about something that was sparked my interest listening to one of my colleagues today. And that is, how do we reconcile with ourselves? And what does that even mean? So, her comment today was, we free ourselves within ourselves. And that's really the core of all my business. It's the core of my programs, it's the core of my one on one coaching. It's the core of what actually helped me get more in alignment in my life and get more aligned with my purpose and create the work that I do. And that is doing the work from within. So, I'm Donna Nelson. If you're not familiar with me, maybe you're seeing this for the first time and hearing about my work. This episode, this series of Rooted in Wisdom is all about helping you get more tuned in to being more whole. So, whether you want to up your game in business, have better relationships, make more money, have more abundance in all areas of your life, mental, physical, emotional, be more spiritually connected in your journey to wholeness, you need to know how to get there. And it takes a foundation that is rooted in both science and soul. So that's what these series are about. And you can see all of them on my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and search Donna Nelson, you can see all of them and so much more of things that I've shared in live streams here on Facebook. So, all right. So, what about today in episode 36? How do we reconcile with ourselves? And what does that mean? And how do we free ourselves from within? So, we free ourselves from within by reconciling with ourselves. And as I thought about the depth of what this even means, it's really very exciting. So, I'm going to give you a couple of ways to do this. And so, what I mean, and describe to you what this even means about reconciling with ourselves. And so I thought about this as an exercise to do daily. So I know a lot of you already do journaling or you do meditation. You do something to do this kind of processing through the day in maybe a reflective way. And if you don't, this is something that you can do or add on to what you're already doing. So it's really important to reconcile with ourselves and to really do it on a daily basis. And I realized even as I was kind of penciling out what my thoughts were that I wanted to share with you, hopefully in an organized way, that I don't do a good job of this myself on a daily basis. And so now that I have it written out, I'll be able to do it better and be more thoughtful about it. So I hope that this will help you as well. So let me tell you what it looks like, what's going on within that maybe you need to do some reconciling. So, what's your struggle, right? So, what are those things that are going on within you or even outside of you? What are those things that are showing up that feel like the struggle? What are the demons that are haunting you day in and day out, right? And I mean the internal demons, right? It could be the ruminating thoughts of a situation or a judgment about yourself, something that you feel is holding you back or keeping you small or keeping you in struggle in maybe your finances or in a relationship or in your within your body itself, with your health or your well-being, with your weight. So whatever those kind of demons are, what are those? So I'm prompting you with these questions to think about them, and if you were to write them down, what would they be? What would the feelings be that even show up from thinking about writing them down, right? Like, because writing that, so the dialogue is always within us, right? But writing them down is a higher level of admission, of acknowledging that these are real. There's something about when we keep them inside of us and don't speak them out loud, or don't put them in writing, that it's somehow like it's unknown. Even when you're writing them to yourself, right? In a journaling exercise, or just taking a piece of paper right now and writing them down as I'm saying it out to you. Um, what are those feelings that are showing up around that? That discomfort is what's coming next. So stay tuned. So, all right. So that was what's your struggle? What's the demon haunting you day in and day out? Or maybe it's what's that nagging voice or that physical sensation that perpetuates, right? Like it might be that tingling and knot in the back of your neck or in your shoulders. It could be, that kind of lump in your throat about not speaking up, or that knot in your stomach that just keeps you feeling perpetually anxious. And those are the things that I'm talking about. Um, those are the signs that you need to reconcile something within you. So if you were to speak directly to those parts of you, to those aspects that are feeling uncomfortable, to that nagging feeling, those physical sensations, or those demons that are showing up, what, and ask that aspect of yourself, what are you trying to tell me? And what I realized is that in this cycling and not ever coming to reconciliation with these aspects of ourselves, we never get to asking these powerful questions. And while often people will either go to therapy or some spiritual guide or a coach for assistance on these things, or a doctor, right, to get rid of the pain. I just want to get rid of the pain. I want to numb out, or some other behavior, right, an external behavior, right? It could be um, recreational drugs and alcohol. It could be lots of things, right, to just dull out these things so we don't have to feel them and have them forcing us to tune in. But I promise the tuning in and the reconciling of these is where the peace is, right? So, what if you were to tune in and ask these things that are showing up, these aspects about yourself that are kind of nagging, saying, hey, something needs to change here. What, and you were to ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What do you think would come up for you? What if you took a piece of paper and just sat with yourself and wrote those things down? So often we notice these things, but we don't really want to know the answers, right? Because if we knew the answer, if we ask ourselves that, another feeling would come up. And it's likely the answer, the solution would come up. And then when that happens, what happens? We then have to change something, or we have to at least make a decision. And the decision is, I'm not going to change something, or I'm going to change something. And that's kind of where the shit shows up, right? Because then we have to have a serious admission to ourselves of why I'm making a decision to live with this pain or this delusion or this discomfort or this lie I tell myself every day. Or we have to change it. And sometimes we don't really want to change it. And that could be because we don't know how, or We don't want to have to do the work, because the work in the change is where the discomfort shows up, right? Because you're telling your body, you're telling your life, you're telling your mind that you've got to do something different to get something different. And that's how we get stuck. And that's how we end up going through these cycles, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of simple steps to reconcile with yourself every day so that you don't increase the load over and over. So maybe right now you have a big load. Well, whatever, right? Stop. Just do today. Just reconcile with today. Because the practice is, if we do it every day, then the load gets smaller, the ruminating gets less, the pain is not there, the emotion, the physical sensations minimize. All right, so let me tell you what I mean. So how do we reconcile these things within ourselves? Number one, is take inventory. So if we free ourselves within ourselves, because I wanted to just go back to that. I feel like I ramble on and then we forget, what's the point? What are we doing here? So we free ourselves within ourselves. So that requires then that we take inventory of ourselves. So take a personal inventory. What are your best qualities? What are your personal best qualities? What are your achievements and accomplishments? So you're making a list of those things. Because as we often are looking at our struggles and we're feeling a physical discomfort and a pain or whatever those things are, right? We can lose track of how great we are, right? The things that we've accomplished and our personal best aspects of ourselves. All right, so you're taking inventory of those two things. And then you're going to inventory the things that you value most. What matters most to you in your life? What are those things? Who are those people? What are those experiences? And then you're going to list the things that you appreciate. These are all bringing up. So this is the first half of it, I guess you could say, right? So you're acknowledging and you're seeing all of these things that are great about you and great about your life. So if we look back at those things that you want to change, right? Those aspects of yourself that need to be reconciled. What would need to change or happen, or would you need to believe to have a different experience with those things? So I'm posing the question to you, but I want you to ask the question to yourself. And I want you to then listen intuitively. Don't get in your thinking head. Just be with yourself for a moment and ask, what needs to be different? What would need to change? What would I need to believe? What would I need to think for this to be different for me? And what's going to happen in those moments when you're asking yourself these questions is feelings are going to show up. And this is where the magic is. The magic in the reconciliation is in the feelings. Tuning into, and I mean like the emotions and the physical sensations in your body. So those two things, they show up together, right? You get a certain emotion, you get excited, and you get tingles in your body. You get angry and your body tenses up, right? You get nervous or anxious. You know, you get knots in your stomach or a pain in your shoulders or an immediate headache, whatever that is for your body, right? But I want you to notice that. And the magic is in that feeling, allowing the feeling. Don't run from it. Don't distract from it. Don't start thinking about you're hungry or you have to run to the bathroom or whatever it is, right? Check your phone. Don't do that. These are diversions. Your body is naturally wants to move away from discomfort, yet you're sitting in discomfort, but it doesn't like things that are different. And so when you're tuning in, because you generally aren't ever tuning into those feelings and noticing them, so now you're connecting your mind and your heart and the energy of your body. So in this sitting with this and noticing it. So I say everything lasts for 10 seconds, right? If you're in pain, just bear it 10 seconds and the sensation, you adapt to it, right? It doesn't feel painful anymore. But there is something about sitting for 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, only 3 minutes with those sensations and noticing them and listening to what is showing up with that and what meaning it has for you. What meaning are you giving those feelings, right? So we're moving toward these physical and emotional sensations because that's the messages for our body and how we're reconciling these things that are going on within us. So by going through these steps, these questionings, and this process of listing the things these good qualities about yourself, these positive aspects about you and your life, and then listening to the feelings and asking yourself, what would need to change? What would I need to believe? What would need to happen? What would need to be different to reconcile these things within myself that are showing up, these demons every day, these struggles that I'm feeling, the struggle that is going on externally in my life. Note it, writing those things down and noticing the feelings that are coming up with it, allowing yourself to sit with it so that you can hear the solutions that are going to come to you. But at the very least, you're processing through those feelings and allowing your body to come to a reconciliation with that. So doing this reconciliation every day, at the end of the day, you will have, your day will end peacefully and your next day will begin with more ease instead of the alternative, which is to not reconcile and you start every day with the same unreconciled frustrations or demons or experiences from the day before or from the year before or from the last 10 years or the whatever, right? So, all right, that's my message for today, how to reconcile with yourself, because we free ourselves within ourselves. Every problem we have can get solved within ourselves, whatever that is. The answers are always within. The key is, the magic is, how do we get within to solve those within ourselves? So this little reconciliation exercise should help you with that a bit. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you